Hello and welcome to Arsenal Fan TV here at the full-time hangout between Arsenal and West Brom. Ended up being a 1-0 result for the Arsenal with a goal from Olivier Giroud from a set piece in the corner in the first half. Today I'm joined by Ryan. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm good, man. Good.
Always a good day when Arsenal win. I'm here with Moran and Danny as well. So obviously, pretty boring match to be honest. We only really had one or two chances in the second half. Both teams didn't really have much to play for. What were your overall thoughts on the match, Ryan?
Yeah, I thought it was a good match. I think, it's disappointing that we couldn't finish. We created so many chances. Ozo looked very, very bright today, very, very sharp. I believe that next season, he could very well be in contention for Player of the Year if he puts in performances like that. His dribbling was excellent. I think our team was good on the ball and off the ball as well. We created lots of space, but for whatever reason, we just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net in the second half.
Moran, my man of the match today was Olivier Giroud. I know he's not your favorite player, but give me your thoughts on Giroud's performance today, because I thought he held up the ball well. Obviously, the goal was very good. What were your thoughts on Giroud?
He put a good shift in today. He held the line up pretty well. He laid it off pretty well, and it's what I expect from Giroud in a match sort of like this against a smaller club like West Brom. I expect Giroud to stand out against I don't want to say pretty much a weaker back four in West Brom.
Any other standout performances for you, Moran?
Koscielny played well. He did not look. He didn't look threatened at all during the whole match. As with Murtazak, as with the whole back line. I think Morial put in a really good shift. I thought he did very well.
I think Morial's final ball could have been a little better.
Yeah.
His crosses in the final third weren't. I don't think they were up to par.
Thankfully, he didn't play a role in the outcome. Podolski was unlucky to get a second. He ran rampant during the match. So all in all, it was good to see Arsenal threatening during the match.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, no, to be honest, I kind of disagree with that. I don't think Monreal was. I mean, he wasn't as bad as he usually is, but he wasn't exactly great either, because he did let Sessegnon get away with a breakaway, and thankfully we had Sagna there to recover from that.
Going on Sagna's part, Danny, how much of a loss would it be if Sagna leaves? Because all the indicators go towards him leaving this summer, because he's leading the lap of honor. There are no talk of him really staying. How big of a loss will it be for Sagna leaving?
It is a big loss. Of course it is. He's one of our most consistent players, and we've seen what Arsenal like in the transfer window. I worry that we're going to be stuck with Jenkinson as our first choice right back next season. So, it's more not having confidence that we're going to get someone as good as him in the summer. That's more the worry for me, because he is getting, he's over 30. He's probably got a couple more seasons at the top level. So, I'd love to keep him, but I'm more worried about not being able to replace him than anything.
Going the rest of the back four, Danny, as usual, very, very solid. Who was your man of the match today?
I'd probably give it to Ozil. He was involved in pretty much everything going forward. He was always trying to do the right thing. Whenever you could see the attack in motion when he had the ball. You're looking at where you want him to at least try and play the ball every time he was trying to do that. And our back four was good. I was more surprised at West Brom, not really playing like a team who, they could still get relegated, and it wasn't until the last 5 minutes of the game did they actually look like they might actually do something. I'm just surprised they didn't take more risks and, try and get something out of the game earlier on.
I agree, because it was a really easy match for us to play in. They weren't pressing us high, and they weren't really putting that much pressure on us defensively. But going to you, Ryan, the subs today, what did you think of Arsene Wenger's decisions to bring on? It was Vermaelen, Rosicky, and Kallstrom. How do you think he handled the substitutions?
Well, I don't think it really made that much of a difference, to be honest. But it was nice to see Rosicky come out. I mean, before the match, I thought that Rosicky would start, to be honest. This seemed like a very Thomas Rosicky type game.
Yeah.
As far as Shellstrom, he put in a good shift today. He played well. Um, and Vermaelen, obviously, coming on towards the end in place of Monreal is good. I mean, obviously, he's been pushed out of his normal position this year, obviously due to the strength of Koscielny and Mertesacker, but I'd like to see Monreal as a Vermaelen as a left back from time to time.
That one ball he put down the line was absolutely brilliant.
Podolski, yeah, very good, yeah.
Moran and I, we were talking during the match, and we were pretty disappointed at a couple substitutions. Not that it would make a huge difference, but I know Moran wanted to see Abu Diaby out there, and really I wanted Jenkinson to come on around the 90th minute just to give us take off Sagna, give him a real standing ovation from the crowd, but obviously it didn't happen. I think that would have been a nice touch. But Moran, do you think we see Abu Diaby at all this year?
I don't know. It would be lovely to see him just come on for a short stint. Even for the last 10 minutes of a match. It'd be great to see him come on. Yeah, not really much to say on that topic.
Yeah. Obviously, Danny, good thing that we rest some of our players for the FA Cup final.
Yeah, definitely. I'd just say keep rotating the squad and for the next game before the final. Yeah, didn't really have anything else to say on that.
Yeah, there's not very many talking points for this match. Obviously, we missed some chances, but one glaring thing at the Emirates today was Loic Remy. I know he was sitting in Sagna's box, but who knows? Who knows? Right hand, do you think that's a good summer signing? Because my opinion on Loic Remy would be that's a great signing, but we need that other world-class striker. Because if you look at any title-winning squad in the last couple of years, they always have three strikers. I'm going to use Manchester City for an example this year. They have Aguero 1, Dzeko 2, Negredo 3, and even Jovetic 4. I think you need one world-class striker and two good strikers to back them up. Obviously, we still need that striker, but I believe Giroud and Remy could be those two strikers to support them. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I would have to agree. I mean, the thing about Loic Remy is that he likes to get in behind defenders, which is slightly different to how Giroud plays.
Yeah.
Obviously, at Newcastle, he doesn't have the world-class ball delivery that he can get at Arsenal. It's all about the supply that he gets to be able to finish clinically, and he's very tough. He's very aggressive in his play. So it would be exciting to see him. As you say, Giroud. I want to talk about Giroud a little bit because he's had a bit of a deceptive season. And I know I've criticized him in the past, but today he did put in a good performance. He showed real fighting spirit. But I think, a couple hangouts ago, you mentioned that Giroud would make a good second striker. And going on that, I'd have to agree. He really would. He would be probably the best second striker in the league. I have to agree with you now on that one. But yeah, I think Loic Remy would add a different dimension to the squad in the striking department, certainly.
What about you, Moran? What do you want to see in the upcoming transfer window? Obviously, I believe a striker's a must and also a holding midfielder. Any other positions you want to shore up, and any names possibly that you'd want to see at the Arsenal next year?
I know during the match we talked about Carlos Vela, and we talked about his buyback clause. I'm not too sure about that. Me myself, I don't know if
I don't think you can get Vela and Remy. I think it would have to be one or the other with those two because they're pretty similar, and maybe because Vela, I don't think Remy or Vela is obviously that world-class striker that we need, and maybe four strikers is too much. Obviously, if we could get both of them and a world-class striker at four, because Vela can have some versatility playing on the wing maybe, but as you said, go on.
But who knows what the supply he'll get? Remy, somebody like Ryan said, he gets behind the line, a lot, he makes great runs. Yeah. That's something Ozil loves. A striker of that mold. You can say that Giroud's, the type of striker Giroud is. It's really limited Ozil in some way because Ozil likes to play that final fall through to the back four. So maybe a striker of Remy's mold could do wonders not only for Arsenal but for Ozil, make him put in make Ozil look better on the pitch. Yeah.
What about you, Danny? Because I think also a holding midfielder, I'd be absolutely ecstatic with Lars Bender as another holding midfield player. But also my dream signing, obviously probably not very realistic, would be Paul Pogba. But any names that come to mind for you?
Yeah, I definitely take Lars Bender. As for Remy, I don't know. Not a signing I'd be exactly excited about. Man U get linked with players like Cavani. That's a team not even in the Champions League next year. I didn't see why Arsenal can't go in for him as well.
But I think what Marin and Rayhan were saying, obviously, if we do get that world-class striker that you say right there, and then add on Loic Remy to that, I think that's a very good addition. Wouldn't you say as a second or third striker?
Sure. I'd take him as kind of another maybe option, but I worry about it because I feel like if we get Remy, then Arsene Wenger is just going to be content with that and not going for anyone else. I wouldn't mind seeing Joe Campbell back from loan next season. He's had a great season at Olympiacos, and he's just fast, he's clinical.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him back, but I'm not going to make any judgments about Remy yet. If we do sign him, I'll watch him a few games and then make a decision on that. But as for other signings, holding midfielder definitely. I think Arteta's needs to be not replaced completely, still have him in the squad, but somebody who's world class in that.
Yeah. I think obviously we also need to address our right back situation because I believe Sagna will be leaving. It's going to be interesting to see who Wenger signs there because I don't think he'll go out and sign a Seamus Coleman. I don't see that happening at all. But I think he has a player for that right back position in his back pocket that we have absolutely no clue about. But going forward, I think we're just 2 players away, Rayhan, because I think we have a good foundation for next year, and with all the injuries that we've had this year, we could have even won it this year. But if we just add a 1 or 2 world-class players, I think that takes us into a very, very good being a very good title contender.
Yeah, that's a difficult predicament actually, because it's true that if we add maybe 2 world-class players, yes, we could be in contention for the title. But that's if we add 2 world-class players. We are going to need other placeholders in the squad as well if we take in injuries into account, because ultimately injuries are a result of a low squad depth overall, which accounts for more games played by each player individually, which increases the risk of sports injuries due to wear and tear and lack of recovery time.
Yeah. Marin, anything else you wanna say before our last Premier League game? Thoughts going into that match? Do you want to see more squad rotation, rest all our players for the FA Cup final?
At Norwich, I put in a lineup, mix it around a little bit, give other players an opportunity to play in the last match of the season. But obviously, the main focus is the FA Cup final. So keep the vital players on the keep them off for that match. And really get everybody involved. Get really the players who haven't been involved this season an opportunity in the final match of the season at Norwich.
I wanted to see maybe Sanogo today, Danny. Sanogo, Diaby. I want to see Diaby not only see how he's doing because he could be that. Do you think he could be that holding mid player that we're speaking of? Because obviously you can't rely on him, but I remember I just always have this image of him just absolutely bossing at Anfield. That's just always stuck in my mind, and he has the ability. Just the health is just such a Achilles heel for him, literally.
Yeah, I agree. I think the ability's there. I remember that Liverpool game as well. I thought, this is going to be his season. It's going to do that game in, game out, but then he kind of didn't. I wanted to just ask you guys a question as well about the rumor about Fabregas might be coming back. If you'd take him or if you wouldn't.
Well, I wouldn't, because I'd love to see Fabregas back at Arsenal, but we just spent 40 million on Mesut Ozil. There's no way I could see both of them being involved at Arsenal, especially and as well as Cazorla. It just cause, it's never too wrong to have too many world-class players, but it could derail.
What?
It could derail the confidence of someone like Ozil. Bring in Fabregas.
No, Moran, he'd play that deep lying playmaker role that Arteta plays. Because when he was with Arsenal, that's kind of the similar role he did play. He did hold, so he did play obviously attacking, but he also had stints playing at that holding mid role. That would be a huge upgrade.
Then where do you have Ramsey and all them? Ramsey, Wilshere, where do you have all those guys?
No, Moran. Ramsey, Fabregas holding, and then Ozil attacking.
You just talked about a big holding midfielder. What are you going to do about it? Then what's the point of even...
Fabregas would be that big holding midfielder.
Oh, okay, no. We need somebody in the mold of Vieira. Not... Fabregas is a great player.
The quality of Fabregas, man. The quality, you can't... No, Moran. You say you wouldn't take him back?
We've got Ozil. We need some... Instead of having more having more players we want, how we get fill our needs, we need a big imposing defensive midfielder, somebody in the mold of a Vieira to really power us through in the attack. There's no point in bringing in a creative player like Fabregas. As great as he is, we've got a bunch of creative players. We have box-to-box midfielder like a Ramsey, like a Wilshere. We have playmakers in Ozil and Cazorla. It'd just be a luxury, and we need a first. The big problem this year was the lack of a big imposing defensive midfielder, and we need to fill out that need first. Yeah,
but I think Fabregas is good enough defensively and good enough. He would be unreal for that center. Our midfield, if it was Ramsey, Fabregas, Ozil, that is an unreal midfield right now. Well, what are your thoughts on that? Because Moran, if you get a big imposing player, he's not going to be as skilled. He's not going to dictate the play that Fabregas will. And
we look at the Yaya Tourés, the Paul Pogbas.
Yeah, they don't fall from the sky, man. That's a special case. If we get Paul, okay, I agree with you.
There are a lot of real, pretty good quality defensive midfielders. It doesn't have to be as great as Yaya Touré and Paul Pogba, but somebody like Lars Bender is just as great as
I take Fabregas over Lars Bender, man. The dedication he's shown to the club in the past. Obviously, leaving wasn't great, but Ryan, what's your thought on it? Because I've watched a couple of Barcelona games this year. Even yesterday, he came on as a sub in the 70th minute, and they were 1-1. He comes on, he makes an instant impact. They win 3-1 or 2-1, I forget, but he contributed.
They tied.
Oh, sorry, 2-2. Oh, sorry, yeah, you're right. They tied 2-2, but he came on right away and he made an impact. He got that assist. I just find it unreal that you don't think that Fabregas, you wouldn't want Fabregas back. But go. What are your thoughts, Ryan?
Okay, well, here's the thing. I mean, we need to sort out our needs first. We need to put a striker as top priority.
Yeah.
And then if Sagna leaves, we need to sort out our right back situation, and then the holding midfield role. Now, I prefer the holding midfielder to be rather big in stature as opposed to Fabregas, who's only about 5'6", 5'7". He does have excellent attacking prowess, but is it really what we need? I mean, we all want it, sure. I mean, it's definitely a great accessory to have, but is that fundamental to Arsenal's success in seasons to come? It could be, it could not be. It really depends on the price. Are we willing to splash the cash, for Fabregas when we already have a bit of a crowded midfield? Would it stunt the development of the players like Oxlade-Chamberlain or Jack Wilshere, for that matter? So, there's a lot of factors to take into account. It would be nice, but it's not priority.
Do you think that?
Thank you. That's
Brian,
thank you.
Do you think Fabregas would be better defensively than Arteta is right now?
That's not the question. That's not the question.
No. Well, I'm asking you that question right now.
Half the team could do better. Could do better than Arteta defensively. But the thing is, we need to fill the need of a defensive a big, imposing defensive midfielder. I don't care if you're better than Arteta. Arteta's pretty average at that role. As much as I love him, he's pretty average. So I want a big, imposing player. Why are we comparing Fabregas and Arteta? Why are we even comparing them?
What? Because that's just. Why are we comparing them? Because if we brought Fabregas in, he would be playing that Arteta role, and he would be a world-class Arteta. And I think the job that Arteta does is adequate for Arsenal, but Fabregas would he's like Arteta on steroids, man. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Danny?
I'm 50-50 on it. I completely agree with Moran. But at the same time, my main worry about not snapping him up is he goes to Man U, who, are massively, massively interested in signing him. He goes there next season, has a great season next to Van Persie, or playing him behind him, and then, all Arsenal fans will be saying at the end of next season, we should have bought him,
That's true.
I think Barcelona would be absolutely crazy to sell him, in my opinion. He world-class center mid. I don't think they should sell him. Obviously, it'd be great if they could sell him to us. But I do agree with Moran that we do need a big center defensive mid, but to rotate in certain types of games. No, but Moran, I'd still want Fabregas to play the bulk of the games if he did come, but also I'd want Fabregas to be there just because he's world-class, man.
Well, where does that leave?
Anytime you can get he could be that deep line mid playmaker like Arteta and just do a way better job.
But we've seen what the arrival of a big name player does to some players. You just look at Cazorla. Brought in Ozil. Cazorla's he's not the same player as he was last season. He's been pretty lackluster for a majority of the season. Do you want to see that happen to, another player, let's say Jack Wilshere? As great of a player as you don't want to derail the development, as Ryan said, of other players, derail their confidence. That's exactly what we don't want to do.
Actually, can I jump in on that?
Yeah.
I think, if we were to bring in Fabregas, I wouldn't mind selling Cazorla because he has had a pretty lackluster season this year. And Fabregas is a bit younger, he's a bit more fresh, and obviously, he's Arsenal through and through. So he would be a decent replacement for Cazorla, I think.
Yeah. Obviously, just
hypothetically.
Yeah. But obviously, it's clear that we all need to reinforce for the summer. Comment below what players you want to see in the summer. Comment, because we do need those reinforcements. And just going and summarize the end of the game today, pretty easy-going game for the Arsenal, really. We had some chances. Unfortunately, couldn't convert a lot of them. Hit the post with Podolski. Ozil missed a good chance, but good 1-0 result. Giroud with the goal, and really just a professional performance. We expected more from West Brom, but we went out there, did our job. Any last thoughts, guys?
Yeah, I just want to say, I'm definitely advocating the campaign against racism in football. I think we should definitely do the right thing and do our best to kick it out.
Well said. I agree with you for sure. Any Danny Moran?
Let's just finish the season strong. It's been a tough season. It started off so greatly, and it's had its poor runs. But we've stuck by the club, and for the most part, apart from a few performances, they put a smile on our face. They put in great performances. So hopefully finish strong, and that'll lead us to a great season the following season.
What about you, Danny?
Yeah, I agree with Moran. Just win the FA Cup and
do the business.
I just want to know whether Arsene Wenger's going to sign or not.
Yeah, I think he will for sure. I fully expect him to, and I fully want him to. And one more win, and then obviously big day out at Wembley. Fully expect a victory against Hull. And what more can I say? Up the Arsenal!
Yes.